Welcome back all of you. Today we are going to study the final module of chapter 1, that is soil as a resources. Okay. So soil. So what is the definition of soil? Soil is the most important renewable natural resource. So renewable, last class during the first module we discussed, isn't it? Soil is, first of all, soil is a topmost layer of the earth's surface, isn't it? It is a medium of plant growth and support different type of living organisms on. Okay. So this is important. This is a definition for soil. And this diagram, actually, it is a diagram of soil profile. Okay. Soil profile means, from look at the diagram, what definition you can make from this soil profile. Soil profile, first of all, we can write soil profile is a vertical section of soil, isn't it? So see, this is vertical. Suppose this is horizontal, it is vertical. So soil profile means it is a vertical section of soil from top to bottom, isn't it? Otherwise you can write it is a vertical section of soil from top soil to where? Top soil to bedrock. Okay, that is a simple definition you can make about, you can write about soil profile. So in this soil profile, what are the things you can see? In soil profile, the topmost layer is top soil, then subsoil, then weathered rock, then unweathered rock. Okay, so topsoil, subsoil, weathered rock and unweathered rock. When you are writing about all the layers and all, you can write topsoil is the uppermost layer, then subsoil lies below topsoil or above weathered area. Okay, this is the way you should make the points. Next. Okay, different types of living organisms living on the earth. The soil is a living system. It takes millions of years to form. It is very, very important. Okay, soil take millions of years to form. Okay, so it is very important point. Soil take millions of years to form up to few centimeter in depth. Relief, parent rock or bedrock, climate, vegetation and other forms of life and time are very important factors for soil formation. It is also very important. What are the factors for soil formation? What are the factors depending for soil formation? Relief. Relief means that physiography, nature of the land. Relief, parent rock or bedrock, climate, vegetation, other forms of life and time. Okay, these are the important factors. Okay, bedrock means from which large rock piece the soil is forming. So that is bedrock. Various forces of nature such as change in temperature, actions of running water, wind and glaciers, activities of decomposers, etc. contribute the formation of soil. So this is also important. What are the things contribute soil formation? Okay. Then chemical and organic changes which take place in the soil are equally important. Soil also consists of organic and inorganic. What are the components of soil? The soil components are mainly organic components and inorganic material. Okay, inorganic components. Then on the basis of the factors responsible for soil formation, okay, now the criteria for classifying. Now we are coming to the main topic is classification of soil. So what is the criteria for classification of soil? On the basis of their formation. Okay. Then color, thickness, texture, age, chemical and physical properties. So because of all this, what are the criteria? Okay, this paragraph, it is explaining about the criteria for dividing the soil into various types. Classification of soil. India has varied relief features, landforms, climatic realms and vegetation types. These have contributed in development of various types of soil. So which is the first common type of soil? Alluvial soil. Alluvial soil, already you know, alluvial soils are the soil formed due to the deposition of alluvium brought by rivers. Alluvium. Okay. So the loose particles take away by the rivers. So because of that alluvial soil you can see either side of a river bank. Okay, so alluvial soil is the most fertile soil also. Now we will see what are the points are given. Alluvial soil, this is the most widely spread, underline this. Okay, it is widely spread and important, it is most widely spread. Then in fact the entire northern plains are made alluvial soil. You know the plain area, usually the plains are forming due to the deposition of alluvium brought by rivers. So because of that in India northern plains are mainly formed due to the deposition work of Himalayan rivers like Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. Next one, these have been deposited by three important Himalayan rivers. Which are the three? Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. These soils also extended in Rajasthan and Gujarat through a narrow corridor. Alluvial soil is also found in the eastern coastal plain, particularly in the deltas of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. So what point you are getting from here? Anyway, alluvial soils are formed due to the deposition of alluvium brought by rivers. So of course in plain areas and all the river banks you can see the deposition of alluvial soil. The alluvial soil consists of various proportion of sand, silt and clay. So you can see sand, silt and clay in alluvial soil. As we move inland towards the river valleys, soil particles appears somewhat bigger in size, isn't it? So that is also important. Then in upper reaches of the river valley, that is near the place of break of slope, the soils are coarse. Coarse means, what is the meaning of coarse? Large. Such soils are more common in Piedmont plains. What is the meaning of Piedmont? Piedmont means the foothills, okay, the bottom of a hill, such as, okay, Duas, Chos and Terai. Okay, so Terai and all, you know, Babar and Terai and all the Himalayan mountain foothills, that is Shivaliks. So Shivaliks, there one region is Terai. Okay. So apart from the size of their grains of the components, the soils also described on the basis of their age. So based on the size of particles we saw. Next one based on the age. Okay, so according to their age, alluvial soil can be divided into old alluvium and newer alluvium. Okay, so old alluvium, it is known as Bangar. It is very important. This paragraph, it is very important. So older alluvium, it is known as Bangar, and newer alluvium, it is known as Khadar. The Bangar soil has high concentration of Kangar nodules than Khadar. It has more fine particles and it is more fertile than Bangar. So which one is more fertile? Khadar is more fertile. Okay. So this paragraph here you can expect the question. Write the properties of Babar and Khadar, then or differentiate between Bangar and Khadar. Alluvial soils as a whole are very fertile. Mostly these soils contain adequate proportion of potash, phosphoric acid and lime, which are ideal for growth of sugarcane. Okay, which are the crops? Crops also you have to study. Which are the crops? Sugarcane, paddy, wheat and other cereals and pulse crops. Due to its high fertility, regions of alluvials are usually intensively cultivated. What is the meaning of intensive cultivation? Intensive cultivation means maximum utilization of that land for cultivation. And usually it is densely populated also. Soils in the drier areas are more alkaline. Then usually the dry areas you can see the soil will be more alkaline and can be productive after proper treatment and irrigation. So these are the properties of alluvial soil. Next one we will see black soil. So black soil, basically black soils are forming due to the weathering of weather, like a volcanic material. Okay, and what are the usually crops and all, we are sugarcane and all usually we are cultivating in black soil. In India, Deccan Trap region is a region we can see the black soil. Now these soils are black in color. Okay, in the heading itself we will remember. So black in color and also known as rigor. What is another name of black soil? Rigor. Black soil is ideal for growing cotton. It is important. Okay, it is very important. Cotton, and it is also known as black cotton soil. You can expect a question why the black soil is also known as rigor or black cotton soil. Then it is believed that the climatic conditions along with the parent material are important factors for formation of black soil. This type of soil, typical Deccan Trap or basalt region spread over northwestern Deccan Plateau, it is made up of lava flow. Okay, usually the black soils are forming from lava flow. So it is mainly we can see in Maharashtra and Saurashtra and all. Okay, so this is a map. From this map, actually first you have to study the easy method is first you have to study the states. All the present 20, how many states are there? 28 states and 28 union territories. Okay, so in this 28 states and we have to study. Then if you want, you can draw the easy method. How to study this is you have to take a transparent sheet. Okay, transparent sheet and draw the like a same size, show the boundary of, you can trace the boundary of India. Then you have to mark all the states, okay, with a marker. Then like a CD marker and all. Then what you have to do is the state, the map, the transparent outline of India with the boundary of states, that you have to keep it over this particular map. Then each area you can easily study. Okay, which are the areas are coming in, which are the states and all, you can easily study. That is a best method to study. this states and all. Okay, states and the various soil types in various states. Okay, the method is known as superimpose. Next one, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and extended in the southeast direction. All these states and all done by heart from this. You have to study, understand, and write from the map. The black soil are made up of extremely fine clayey material. They are well known for their capacity to hold moisture. Okay, here the holding moisture is very important. In addition, they are rich in the soil nutrients such as calcium, carbonate, magnesium, potash, lime. These soils are generally poor in phosphoric content. They develop deep cracks during hot weather, which help in proper aeration of the soil. These soils are sticky, okay, because it is very sticky, and when they wet, difficult to work on unless till immediately after the first shower of during the pre-monsoon period. So basically these soils are very sticky soil. Next one, red and yellow soil. So red soil develop on the crystalline igneous rock. Okay, so red soil develop on crystalline igneous rock, and where rainfall will be very low. So yes, eastern and southern parts of Deccan Plateau, you can see that. Yellow and red soils are also found in parts of Orissa, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of middle part of Ganga, along with the Piedmont zone of Western Ghats. Piedmont means foothills. These soils develop in a reddish color due to the diffusion of iron. So it is very important. Why it is having the red color? Due to the presence of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rock. What is metamorphic? The rocks can be divided into three: igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic. It looks yellow when it occurs in hydrated form. Next one, laterite. So laterite soil, basically we can see laterite soils mainly form in the regions where they are getting maximum rainfall. Okay. So washing of soil nutrients cause the formation of laterite soil. Laterite soil have been derived from Latin word later, which means brick. Okay, brick. The laterite soil develop in the areas with a high temperature. High temperature, that word is very important. High temperature and heavy rainfall. So high temperature and heavy rainfall is very, very important. This is a result of intense leaching. Leaching, what is the meaning of leaching? Leaching means washing of soil nutrients. Okay, continuous washing process due to heavy rainfall. So humus content of the soil is low. What is the meaning of humus content? Humus content means actually the humus content means actually the fertility of the soil. Okay, means the dead organisms and all, finally the decay of animals and plants finally get deposited in the soil, isn't it? And that is known as humus. Okay, decay of plants and animals. It is increasing the fertility of the soil. Okay, so soil is low because here the laterite soil, you can see the humus is low because the microorganisms, particularly decomposers like bacteria, get destroyed due to the high temperature. Okay, so you can't see any living organisms in that because of high temperature and a high rainfall region. So you can see the humus content will be very less. Laterite soils are suitable for cultivation of adequate dose of manures and fertilizers. Okay, if we are using the manures and fertilizers, we can use for cultivation. These soils mainly where we found, which are the regions are getting heavy rainfall: Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, and all those hilly areas and all. After adopting appropriate soil conservation technique, particularly in the hilly areas of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, we can see it is using for the plantation of tea and coffee. Okay, plantation crops. So these two we are using. Red laterite soils in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh in Kerala are more suitable for crops like a cashew nut also. Next one, arid. Arid means which are the regions are getting very low rainfall. Arid soil range from red to brown in color. They are generally sandy in texture and saline in nature. Okay, their texture. What is the meaning of texture? Texture means actually the size of particles. Size of particles in the soil. Sometimes it will be small sand to large piece of rock. And saline means salt content in either. In the areas of the salt content is very high in the common salt obtained in the evaporating in water, isn't it? Due to the dry climate, high temperature, evaporation is faster. Okay, suppose our climate is dry, the temperature is high, you can see more evaporation. So soil lacks humus and moisture here also. The lower horizon of the soil occupied conker because of increasing the calcium content downwards. The conker layer formation in the bottom horizons restrict the infiltration of water. Infiltration means going water into the soil. After proper irrigation, these soils become cultivable, as has been just like the example of Western Rajasthan. Now we will study what is forest soil. These soils are found in the hilly and mountainous areas where the sufficient sufficient rain forest available. So you, of course, the name itself you will get the point. Forest soil you can see in the forest regions. These soil texture varies according to the mountain environment where they are formed. They are loamy and silty. They're based on their based on the percentage of sand and silt percentage. So loamy and silty in valley slides, coarse grained in the upper slopes. Okay, so loamy and silty means very fine texture you can see in valley, and the same time the coarse, the larger grains you can see in the upper slope. In the snow covered areas of Himalayas, these soils experience denudation, means erosion, are acidic with a low humus content. The soil found in the lower parts of the valley, particularly on the river terraces and the alluvial fans, are fertile. Okay, what is meant by alluvial fans means actually suppose it is a hill, you can see the bottom portion, you can see the deposition of sand, silt and all, that is known as alluvial fan. So now we will wind up the class with the soil erosion and conservation. So soil erosion means what? The denudation of soil cover and subsequent washings down described as soil erosion. Mark this. Okay, what is soil erosion? What is soil erosion? The denudation of soil cover and subsequent washing down is described as soil erosion. The process of soil formation and erosion go on simultaneously, means same time, and generally there is a balance between these two. Sometimes this balance is disturbed due to the human activities like a deforestation, overgrazing, construction of mining and all, isn't it? So because of when this balance is going, then only you can see the soil erosion. While natural forces like a wind, glacier, water lead soil erosion, the running water cut down through the clayey soils and make up deep channels as gullies. Gullies means actually, okay, the small water channels, okay, narrow channels will form. That is known as gullies, okay. And the land become unfit for cultivation and it is known as bad land. Suppose a region have lot of gullies and all, then the cultivation is not possible. In the Chambal basin, such land are called ravines. Okay, so in India you can see the Chambal area, that's river Chambal, that area you can see a region with a lot of gullies and that is known as ravines. Okay. Then you can see here, see this is gullies, okay, small channels. So during the heavy rainfall, the channels will form. After the rainy season and you can see only the gullies will be left. So these regions are not at all fit for cultivation. Water flows as a sheet over large areas down a slope. In such case, the topsoil is washed away. This is known as sheet erosion. So gully erosion we started. This is gully erosion. Sheet erosion means instead of this channel, water will be completely going like a sheet, just like this sheet. Completely this area is going. Then after the heavy rain and all, you can see this area completely the soil is missing. That is known as what? Sheet erosion. Wind blows loose soil of flat or sloping land is known as wind erosion. Soil erosion is also caused due to the defective method of farming and plowing in the wrong way. Up and down slope form channels and here also leading to the soil erosion. So all these are wrong method of cultivation also can cause what? Soil erosion. Plowing along the contour lines. What is contour lines? Contour line means suppose it is a mountain and this mountain you can see just like a contours we are doing the cultivation. If you are traveling in near the hilly areas, you can see just like these lines are known as what? These are known as contours. So plowing along contour lines can decelerate the flow of water down the slopes. Okay, the protection method, instead of cultivating this region simply, we have to make the terrace, okay, steps. So in each step we have to do the cultivation, that is contour plowing. Then suppose soil erosion is happening, maybe that particular soil will be saved in this region. Okay, from here also water is coming, this area the soil it will be get deposited here, so it will not go this way. So terrace cultivation restrict erosion. That is a concept. Okay, terrace cultivation restrict erosion. Western and central Himalayas have well developed terrace farming. Large field can divide into strips. Okay, small area and strips of grass are left grow between the crops. Then after the making this particular contours or belt, what we have to do is we have to plant some grasses over here in these boundaries. Okay, so it will also block the soil erosion. This breakup force and this breakup force of wind. Okay, suppose when we are planting the large trees over this particular boundary of each terrace, you can see the wind erosion will get over. Okay, wind erosion will be reduced. That is known as windbreakers. Okay, then the planting lines of trees create a shelter also. That is known as shelter belts. Okay, so planting of trees. Then rows of trees are called shelter belts. What is shelter belts? Also you have to study rows of trees planting over the various contours or terrace. Okay, that is known as shelter belt. These shelter belt have contributed significantly in the stabilization of sand dunes and stabilizing in the desert in the western India. Okay, then state of India's environment. Here you can see some of the points, most important points also given. So today's by today's class we completed this lesson. In the next class we will come with the exercise page. Okay, solving the exercise page. Then we will discuss all these question answers. Then some important previous year question paper also we will discuss in the coming class. Okay. I hope all of you understood this chapter. Okay, if you are feeling this chapter, this class is useful for you, you can subscribe our channel. You can comment your feedback also. Okay, thank you.